grab some food cubes and...
If you come before me, then I'll slice your head clean off.
Well, I'd be dead. Netflix Germany's latest sci-fi starring Ulrich Nielsen depicts a post-apocalyptic Europe where man buns reign supreme and the Thunderdome is alive and well.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome!
In this video, we'll be taking a deep dive into Tribes of Europa, its cliffhanger ending, and theories for Season 2. Like, what the heck is this giant cube? Who are the Atlanteans? And why on earth would Liv choose a crossbow when there are so many better weapons? But before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe, because if we lose power, I'll be out of a job. The final episode begins with Moses, who's being interrogated by a group known as the Crows. It's the year 2074, 45 years after an event known as Black December, a mysterious global blackout that caused chaos, anarchy, and the complete dissolution of Europe. Now all that remains are dozens if not hundreds of tribes that fight for control of the land. One such tribe, and one of the most powerful, are the Crows, led by Capitan Ivar. They are searching for something known as the Cube, a piece of Atlantean technology that could help their tribe take over all of Europe. In episode 1, we saw a mysterious aircraft crash land near the Refugium, the home of a tribe known as the Origines. It's ironic that an advanced piece of technology lands here, since the Origines have turned away from technology and embraced a life in tune with nature. Elia, a boy from this tribe, finds the cube and the injured Atlantean pilot, bringing him back to the camp even though the pilot's presence poses a great danger to the tribe. The Crows know of the crash and will stop at nothing to get their hands on that cube, but as the Crows descend upon the Refugium, Elia is tasked by the Atlantean to take the cube to something known as the Ark. Now, there's not a lot we know about the Atlanteans. The name could hint at three things. One, that they come from the Atlantic, perhaps North America. After all, the Atlantean speaks English, although with a German accent. Atlanteans are also what the people from the lost city of Atlantis were called, and considering Moses and Elia descend into the water at the end of the season, maybe there's something there. Finally, the word Atlanta comes from the Greek Titan Atlas, who held the heavens on his shoulders. There are a lot of allusions to the heavens, aka space, as the Atlanteans seem to use spacecraft, and we see in the hologram the cube unlocks someone wearing what appears to be a spacesuit. Is it possible the Atlanteans come from or live in space where the blackout never occurred, hence why their tech still works? Then there are the clues the Atlantean gives, warning of impending doom if the cube is not delivered to the Ark.
Something is coming from the east. Something dangerous.
The Atlantean is likely referencing something known as the Black Swarm. When Elia and Moses meet a family on the run from the Far East, they're warned that if you see the Black Swarm, you die. The cube's hologram recording shows some sort of Black Swarm. Could this be it, and is it in any way connected to the events of Black December? So the cube has to be delivered to the Ark. Just what exactly the Ark is, we don't know. It could be a boat, a spacecraft, or something else entirely, but the word Ark is very specific. It makes me think of Noah's Ark from the Bible, where the last of humanity survived the catastrophic flood. Could this Black Swarm be that new catastrophic event, and the Ark is where people can find refuge? Moses also has a biblical name, the man who led the Jewish people out of slavery in ancient Egypt. Is this foreshadowing that Moses will become that kind of character? It would actually be a great character arc for him, since he really only cares about money and himself. It would be nice to see him change and learn that people are more important than profit. Changing gears for a moment, let's talk about Keanu, the Origines brother of Elia and Liv, who is enslaved and sent to the Volk factory, where he soon catches the eye of Lord Varvara. He goes from a slave class known as Svobodnik, working in a factory where the average life expectancy is 3 to 4 months due to the toxic fumes, to Lubovnik, which translates from Russian to lover. And that's what these garbage bag wearing slaves are to her, sex slaves. Keanu's refusal to obey Varvara's demands only make him more of an interest to her as she slowly breaks him down over the course of the season. His one desire is to compete in an event known as Boj, a one-on-one fight to the death where the winner earns his or her freedom. Well, not exactly full freedom, as you become what's known to the Crows as a bozy, these ruthless warriors. He believes that by doing this he can save his family, particularly his father, who is being held as the Capitan's house servant. And Keanu's biggest heart of darkness occurs when he's forced to compete in the Boj against his own father, killing him in the process. For Varvara, this was Keanu's chance to disconnect from his past and start a new life as a bozy.
Stattdessen habe ich dir die Möglichkeit gegeben, dich von deiner Vergangenheit zu lösen.
deine Schwäche abzustreifen.
Keanu is sworn in and given the name Tarak. He's even given this gas, which we're never really told what it is, but the Bozies use it before battle, so it probably is some sort of stimulant. That's the last we see of Keanu this season, and it sets him up for a very precarious situation when his brother and sister find out he killed their father. I'm also curious if this is the beginning of Keanu actually embracing becoming a Crow. If Varvara keeps breaking him down, I could see him becoming this Kylo Ren type character, waffling between both sides, so it'll be interesting where they take his character. Finally, we have Liv, whose storyline I found the least interesting, as for 5 episodes she's mainly confined to Fort Arenberg, which is controlled by a tribe called Crimson. Crimson is made up of a group who wants to go back to the old ways of the European Union. Even their uniforms are hand-me-downs from that time. The problem here is a rift between its leader, General Francis Cameron, and David Voss. The general wants to make a truce with the Crows, while David wants them eliminated, believing Crows can't be trusted and they'll never honor such a truce. David so believes this that he ends up killing the general and covering it up to make it look like a Crow attack, ensuring an all-out war next season between the Crows and Crimson. David does, however, let Liv live in this attack. They had a brief fling earlier on and he understands she just wants to save her family. What will be interesting though is if Liv will reveal to others David's treachery and if that will come into play next season. Her only real ticket to getting her family back was a Bozie prisoner by the name of Greta. She was planning to trade her in exchange for her family back, but she ends up dead. The end of Liv's storyline actually harkens back to episode 1, which teased her alone among a sea of dead bodies. What we didn't see in that episode was her meeting with the Femen, a tribe which seems to be based off the Femen, a group of only women. So it looks like she'll be teaming up with them and looking for a new way to get back to her family. We also haven't seen many of the other tribes mentioned in the show, which I hope season 2 will delve further into, like the Akan, Newlanders, Black Skulls, and Southern Empire. The season ends with Elia and Moses following the cube to a desolate location south of Berlin, perhaps on the Mediterranean. When the cube has seemingly led them nowhere and runs out of power, Elia in frustration throws it into the water, where it hovers for a moment before plunging into the depths. Moments later, a giant cube appears, and what do you do when a giant mysterious cube appears? You get into it, of course, and that's exactly what Moses and Elia do. I don't think this is the arc itself, rather something that will transport them to the arc. It also seems man-made, judging by the caution tape-like paint and the mechanical engineering. This is Atlantean tech, and as far as we know, Atlanteans are human. The big question for season 2 is just who these Atlanteans are, how come they're able to use technology, and what do they know about this threat to the east that could spell destruction for all of humanity. I also have a crazy theory that Elia, Keanu, and Liv's mother Chloe isn't dead, but that she's actually with the Atlanteans. All we really know about her is that she was apparently killed by raiders, and that she had an infatuation with Black December, even cutting out newspaper clippings of the event and collecting pre-Black December artifacts in a secluded cave by the Refugium. I could totally see her still being alive and having somehow found the Atlanteans, leaving her family because something greater was at stake, the end of the world. That theory aside, the show is actually taking some cues from Game of Thrones, with the Black Swarm taking the place of the White Walkers and the rival tribes being rival houses like the Lannisters and Starks. It will be interesting to see how a great external threat will change the power dynamics between the tribes and how this will affect the characters reuniting. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and leave your comments and theories about the show below. For more bad takes, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.